All right, day 26 of my Rock to Rock Challenge, 50-50 for Earth Day. And we're going to talk a little bit today about hedge trimming. And right now is a great time to do restoration hedge trimming. I'm standing here in front of my Hungry Caterpillar hedge. When I moved in, this was a scrawny little hedge. And what we did is we pulled out all the ivy underneath it, mulched it, and watered it, and it grew into this beautiful shape. And if you have kids, you know the story of the Hungry Caterpillar, and I thought I would make that. We're gonna just go over here. This is my neighbor's yard. With hedges, it's not uncommon that they just keep getting tipped back each year, and eventually they get so high that you can't manage them. This is a great time of year to cut back anything hard, and it'll respond. The latent buds will pop out and the plant will come back. This is especially true for privets, boxwoods, yews, to some extent rhododendrons and azaleas. And so privet is one of our most common hedges in New Haven. And so what I'm going to do today is I want to take this down because we want to make sure that nobody hides behind there, or you can't have somebody from the streets trying to break into a lower window here. So from a safety standpoint, we want this hedge a little bit lower. So the key to all hedge trimming is to know where you're going and to set a height that you want, or wherever you want to be going, you visually set that in your mind. And then always with hedges, the bottom should be wider than the top. So you should be able to have foliage all the way to the ground and then a slight taper up. And the area that grows most quickly is the stuff on top and the stuff just at the top edge. So a lot of times people trim underneath there and they get these funny shaped hedges. And so you want to make sure that it's growing all the way, and even keep that imaginary line, and the plant will grow out into there. By having your vegetation all the way down to the bottom here, you're keeping the sunlight from getting in there and drying out the root system, which will make the plant healthier and happier. And it also creates more of a zone where it collects leaves and creates its own mulch and a little bit of a microsystem. Okay, so I've topped this off. You can see that it's very sticky in here. And what I do is I pull out all the stuff, but you can even see that there's still some new growth growing down in there. That'll all push up. All the new buds on these sticks will push out, and this will be nice and full in a couple weeks, probably really a couple months. And I did not prune off the front this year. Next year I'll come back and tighten up the front, because I don't like to take off too much foliage at one time. I want the top to restore, and then I'll come in and do the sides, or vice versa, so that the plants don't look so butchered right off the bat. All right. So this is my boxwood that I shape in the actual form of a box. And so this one's in good shape, and I just will trim it up once the new growth comes on it. So think about the hedges in your property. But remember, when you do hedges, that there's always an opportunity to think differently about them. Sometimes putting in, if you have the room, to put in something like a tapestry hedge, one that is a mix of evergreens that don't require pruning, because we all in our lives, and usually when you have any type of hedge that needs pruning and shaping for it to look good, you need to do it 2 or 3 times a year. So if you have the room, just put in slow growing evergreens or mixed border, and just allow that to fill out, and then you can do some light pruning on it throughout the season. Hope you're doing well, and tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit about dividing